Students. It's returning me the complete thing. Student one and then this 2D dictionary. Yes, student one and then the 2D dictionary. So what will it return here during the first iteration? If you remember from previous examples, so it's an outer loop. Outer loop means what? This line is executing of for loop. What this line is telling? This line is telling student dot items will return you something which will get stored where in student underscore name will be having some value, and student underscore info will have some value. Let me just comment this. What will student underscore name and student underscore info will have? Let me try and run shoot. It will have where is that? Okay, let me try to place this here, and so you will be info. Okay. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay, so student underscore name, I should put comma here, let's say. So I need a separator. Yeah, okay. So student underscore name is having what during the first iteration. I have commented the nested for loop for now, just to make you understand. Student underscore name during the first iteration has what? Student, this student. Okay, let me copy this. And student underscore info, it's having this complete dictionary here. Okay, in the second iteration, what will happen? This particular variable in the outer, I'm talking about outer loop. In the iteration 2, what will happen? This will have student 2 and the values of student 2. Okay, now if I do a nested loop, what will happen? After this first run, inner loop will start, right? uh, inner inner for loop for iter 1. Now outer for loop iteration first, inner for loop will start, right? What inner for loop is telling? Again run student info dot items. What is student dot info? Student info is having, student info is having this thing, right? Student info is having this thing. Then what will be the value of key? What will be the value in key? There will be some value in key, right? And what will be the value inside key variable, and what will be the value inside value variable? So when you run a for loop on this, what will happen? And you use student info dot items. So this will get separated, right? This key will get separated, and it will come here where it will come here as a key, as a name, and value as an couple. Okay, is this part is clear up to this point? Clear, right? Let me see. Clear, right? Anybody having any doubts in this first inner iteration of for loop?
Yes, we double checking, but so far it's okay.
Okay, so this for outer loop, it's a first iteration. In first iteration, student dot name, student underscore name got this value, student underscore info got this value, okay, from this dictionary. When inner loop is running, key, this particular key, when we are running for loop on which? For loop on this element. Okay, so this name will come here, this value will come here, and once this is done, we just have to print it, right? It will just print it. Key value, let me do like this, key, and then I should do an arrow, and then value, let me do an arrow. So in the first iteration, first when the first for loop ran, it stored, it gave the value in student underscore name is what? As a student one, where this one, and student underscore info, this complete value was assigned to which variable? This variable. Okay, and then we've printed it, and then we again ran a for loop, nested for loop, and in that we use this function. Now this student underscore info, what is the value of student underscore info? This particular value. On this particular value, on this particular dictionary, I have to run a for loop, which is inner for loop. So this will return what? This will return a key and this will return a value. So what is key? This is key and this is a value. So it return this. But once first iteration will be this, and in the second iteration this values will be returned. Okay, for loop will run until this gets exhausted. It has to get exhausted, right? So when will it get? Student underscore info will get exhausted when? After the second iteration, right? In the first iteration, second iteration, what will happen here? It will be age and this will be 32. Okay, second iteration for inner loop, this inner loop will run twice, right? Because we have two values here. So once this is finished, then the control will come to outer loop. Then again it will come to outer loop, and then again two times inner loop will run. And in the first iteration of inner loop, key name, it will be like this only, and then it will be like Peter, and this will be 35. See, in the next iteration, student info was having these values, and the inner loop took these values and ran a for loop. So key was name, value was Peter, key was age, value was 35. Okay, this is this clear to everyone? Even though this example, if you see, it's a .py file, right? It's not an ipynb file. So we are not learning block by block here. We are completely executing this complete code. That is what I'm trying to say. So once we understood block by block, once we know, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Then we can combine all and then we'll use it directly. Now this particular application, which I think I showed you as a demo also, has a UI. So some application might have a UI, some application might not have a UI. Okay, but the thing from MLOps perspective, what we need to understand is how the operations are being performed. Okay, what kind of elements I want to use for training, how can I use a service which is directly provided. So let's say there is a service which is provided by AWS. How should I use that? Okay, that is the particular you can say approach or understanding which we need in our MLOps journey. So if you see, I was reading this. So this is also using this Amazon Bedrock. Okay, so there are certain ways or documentation which we can consult and understand. So even though if you see, I don't think so they have given a code, but in case they have given a code anything related to lambda, right, they will prefer Python examples itself. Let me see, custom, if no, they have not given it, but in the most cases they will prefer Python example itself. So directly, let's say tomorrow AWS launch something new and they are giving some example codes to work with their any service. So directly you can go and look at the Python code. It will be kind of an example for you, and in that example you can modify based on your project, and you will be able to perform your task. So that's why we are spending this time
Okay,
block by
understood.
yeah, block by block. Once the Python is done, we will spend some time in Flask, and once Flask is done, there is a tool which is called as MLflow. So if you want to, I mean, it's up to you. MLflow, we will try to understand what is MLflow, how to use this, how to take help of this MLflow tool in our uh, uh, what do you call model building journey. How can I compare two things? Okay, in MLflow, it's all about experiment. So see, whatever field we are learning, right, there is no descriptive format in MLOps. You will do like these are 5 steps you have to follow from first step to 10th step and your task is done. No, MLOps is all about experiments because it's a new field, right? So in AI, even though in chat GPT or it's a Claude or it's a DeepSeek, they all are doing lot of experiments and they're improving it. So it's all about experiment. So in this this particular tool will help us track experiments. Okay, there will be certain use cases where you do not want to use this tool. Your company might be using some other tool, it's okay, but this is the most popular by far. so as of now, which is being used. You can do your task without this tools, without this tool also, but this tool will help you to track. Okay, it's up to you, you want to use it or not use it. Your company or team lead might be deciding it, but you can approach to them. You can tell, okay, there is a free open source tool available which is called as an MLflow, which could provide us this kind of an insights. So should we consider using it? That's it. So there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of things which we are going to cover in this. There is something called as a DVC, which will help us understand few, so how we can have track of data. So there is Astro Cloud. I mean, there are a lot of things. So all of them will build your understanding in terms of how we can approach a certain problem, what tools provide what kind of a functionality. Only then we will be able to integrate them, right? Once we know which tool can provide what kind of a functionality or benefit in our particular project. uh, in my in my day-to-day task, we do a lot of experiments. There could be some ABC algorithm which we will try to implement it. There will be a lot of communication with data engineering team, data scientist team, developers. They will build something, then there could be a chance there we are getting error. So but what we need to understand is how we can bring a particular skill set, or how we can get ourselves familiar with this domain. So whenever we go into a company, right, and whenever we're trying to approach certain things, so we have a good understanding. Okay, this is DVC, this is MLflow, this works like this way, this is a Python code, this is the basic framework which I already know, and this is the way I can give or provide value to the company. Okay.
Okay, Kapi, you need some rest. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed our session at LWP Labs. For more videos like this, you can subscribe to our channel and contact the number for live classes. The future is now with AI.